Hey, Kevin Murray here. We're going to talk about the 6 secrets of the world's highest performing achievers. And whether we look at the world of medicine and arts or science, technology and business, you see people like Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. These people have incredible capacity to create and inspire and have incredibly productive lives. And this has been studied, and there's some things that we've learned. So what I want to share with you today is what these secrets are and what you can do to learn how to live at a higher level of clarity, live with a higher level of energy and vibrancy, learn how to lead more, whether it's at home or in the workplace. So as we talk about what high performance looks like and what it feels like as we're going through this, I'd like you to imagine what it could really feel like in your life to resonate and respond to some of these challenges, because this is really a challenge for you to step up your life, to take it to the next level. You know where you can take it up a little bit, and so here we go. So a really great place to start might be defining what we mean by high performance. So we have a definition that we can be working with. So our definition that we're going to work with is that high performance means excelling and succeeding above standard norms. So what that means is that in every kind of endeavor, there's some standards that have been created. There's some standards that we might work to or aspire to. So high performance is about excelling and succeeding, but above some standard level for our industry or for our workplace or our organizations. So there's a couple other really important pieces here. So it's excelling and succeeding above standard norms consistently and over the long term. So when we pull all this together, we can unpack each word a little bit more. But the idea is that high performance isn't something we achieve once and then we bonk and we have to rest and recuperate from that. You know, like running a marathon that you're not going to ever do again in your life. This is about consistent performance over time, above and beyond what most people do or what most people expect that anyone else would do. So that's a good starting point for this conversation. Okay, now I want to share some of the qualities of high-performing people, and you're going to recognize some of these in yourself. You're going to recognize that you have some of this some of the time, and the difference with real high-performance people is that they exhibit more of these more often than not, and it's learned, and it's something that you can take on, and you can grow these things in yourself. But let's take a look at some of the characteristics of high-performing achievers. So number one, they're open and observant to the present moment. So that means that the moment can come and meet you. We're not so rigidly focused on what we want or what we need to have happen, but we can let spirit come and dance, and we can see what else might show up other than what we've already thought about. So high-performing people are very open. They're very observant to what's going on, because sometimes the best ideas don't come from our minds. They come from outside of us. The second thing we see is that high-performing people are very self-reliant. That doesn't mean we don't have teams. It doesn't mean we don't look for support. But they know at the end of the day, they can get it done. They can rely on themselves to make the difference and be the difference that they need to see in their workplace or their organizations. Number 3 is high-performing achievers are very future-oriented. We look to the past to see what worked and what didn't work. We take feedback from the past, but we're also looking to create different kinds of futures that'll make a difference for ourselves, for our families, for our communities, for our workplaces, and our clients, and maybe for the whole world too. The fourth characteristic of high-performing achievers is that they're challenge seekers. They're not just happy with the status quo. They're not just happy with what got created last year or last quarter or last decade. They're looking and striving to see, what's that next mountain we can climb. Number 5 is they're connection lovers. So it's kind of as a contrast to being self-reliant. We know that there's other people that can make great contributions to what we're up to, and that we can make great contributions to other people's stuff. And we love creating connections and sparking off each other. So that's just another important piece of it. Number 6, creatively driven and expressive. So that's another kind of follow-on to looking for challenge and looking to up the game. We're looking to create. We want to see things that maybe haven't been done. We want to try different combinations of things. We want to bring, different experiences to ourselves and to our families, to our clients. And the final piece of characteristics of high-performing people is they're meaning makers. These people are looking to make meaning and have meaningful experience in their lives, and they're trying to bring a lot of value, and they're trying to communicate and educate what it is they're up to. So instead of having the meaning being delivered, high-performing people look to create the meaning and share that with other people. All right, we've talked a little bit about what high performers look like, how you can recognize them by their behavior and their characteristics, but also how you can recognize the high performer in yourself by looking at some of those characteristics. Now I'd like to just share some ideas about what it feels like to be living at a level of high performance. So high performance is the feeling of full engagement, joy, and confidence that comes from consistently living from and into your full potential. So imagine what that feels like every day, to be doing that more and more often through your day. So now that we know a little bit about what high performance looks like and what it feels like, let's talk about how we get there and how we can do this for ourselves and how we can bring this into our organizations or our teams. So high performance is the result of having heightened and sustained levels of these 5 qualities. So the first thing that we want to be developing in ourselves is a greater sense of clarity. And that's clarity about who we are and what's really important to us, what we're doing here on the planet. It's not just about our business goals, although that's important, but this is about our internal clarity, our internal guidance and direction. We also need to have a heightened and sustained level of energy. So once you've got a little more clarity about what you're up to, that's actually going to already help build your energy. And there's a lot of other things you can do to build your energy in terms of where you put your attention and how you take care of yourself, how you feed your body, and how you build higher level of stamina, both physically and mentally. The third thing we want to increase is our level of courage, our capacity and our ability to take on things that might seem bold or might seem unreasonable. Well, that's how we really move the dial, is by being courageous. The fourth thing is by really enhancing our productivity, making sure that we're getting the most important things done in a day and we're not distracting ourselves with other activities that aren't really moving us towards what we're up to. So when we have a lot of these things, you can see how they start to layer on top of each other. And the last piece is influence. If we're up to something, we're going to need to talk to people, to influence them, to consider our way of thinking, to engage them, to be partners with us. Again, whether it's family, employees, vendors, suppliers, and of course, our clients as well. So now we're ready to dig into the 6 secrets and the things where we can apply our attention and some work and some mindfulness to drive these other pieces in our life that are going to get us to these higher levels of engagement in all these parts of our thinking. So the way we get to these is by mastering these. And the first thing we need to master is our psychology. So here's some questions to think about how to master your psychology. Am I living my truth? How do I really define who I am as a person, and am I living that? What is most important to me as I interact with others, and am I being that? What do I know that contributes to my successes based on my own history? So the second area that we need to consider is our physiology. And here's some questions to ask yourself when it comes to your high performance around your physiology? Am I rested and fully hydrated? Am I sleeping enough? Am I eating well, exercising, drinking a lot of water? Can't say that one enough. Am I expressing myself with passion enough to generate the energy that I want and that I deserve? The next area where high-performing achievers have demonstrated a lot of mastery is in their productivity. So again, they focus on what needs to get done. And here's a couple questions to ask yourself to stimulate a higher level of productivity. What is my mission today? What am I looking forward to? What must I accomplish today to progress my projects and my life? So these are some great questions, and this is all in the PDF that's attached to this, so please download that and take a shot at some of these questions. The next area to focus on is our persuasion. So here's some persuasion questions. Am I developing influence? Am I demonstrating empathy and bold enthusiasm when I seek to influence others? So some good thoughts, some good questions for persuasion. The next thing is presence. So how present can we be when we're with other people? What level am I in this moment in terms of my emotional and physical vibrancy and presence? Am I giving others my full attention when I'm with them? And the final piece, the sixth secret of high-performing achievers, is they are on purpose. They're not living to see what shows up and what happens. They're driving their lives with a lot of purpose. So here's a couple questions around your purpose. How can I stay on purpose and serve greatly right now? What is the greater purpose in my life? And if I'm not sure, how can I begin creating it and defining it and imagining it so I can be living on purpose? So I also want to share a couple high performance principles that I've lived by, and that this is part of what I bring to my work and my clients as well. So number one, life either happens to us or we live on purpose. So are we driving the bus or are we going for a ride? Like, who's in charge of our journey? And the second principle is that you are responsible for your level of happiness and prosperity. So if we're wanting more happiness and prosperity, it might be something to consider that we have to look inside of ourselves, look at how we're bringing that. It might not be something we receive, but maybe it's what we bring to all the situations in our lives, and that's just a different perspective that's going to create some different results. So if you'd like to build these qualities and raise your level of high performance, or you've got somebody in your organization that you'd like to invest in and somebody that you want to retain and you want to build them for their future, please click on the button below. You can request a complimentary strategy session. I offer a few of these every month, and I'll take a look at your application and I'll be in touch with you to schedule from there. Thank you very much.